Forgive yourself. The supreme act of forgiveness is when you can forgive yourself for all the wounds you've created in your own life. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. When you forgive yourself, self-acceptance begins and self-love grows. When we give ourselves self-compassion, we are opening our hearts in a way that can transform our lives. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Lack of forgiveness causes almost all of our self-sabotaging behavior. Our sorrows and wounds are only healed when we touch them with compassion. We all make mistakes, don't we? But if you can't forgive yourself, you'll always be in exile in your own life. Self-rejection is the greatest enemy of the spiritual life, because it contradicts the sacred voice that calls us, the beloved. There is no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. I think that if God forgives us, we must forgive ourselves. Otherwise, it is almost like setting up ourselves as a higher tribunal than Him. Forgiveness is choosing to love. It is the first skill of self-giving love. We can make ourselves miserable or we can make ourselves strong. The amount of effort is the same. In order to heal, we must first forgive, and sometimes the person we must forgive is ourselves. You've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Love yourself instead of abusing yourself. Your inner critic is simply a part of you that needs more self-love. Having compassion starts and ends with having compassion for all those unwanted parts of ourselves. You don't want to beat yourself up for beating yourself up, in the vain hope that it will somehow make you stop beating yourself up. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. Once you've accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. It's not about worthiness, it's about willingness. The true measure of success is how many times you can bounce back from failure. Peace is letting it be. Letting life flow, letting emotions flow through you. Sometimes when things are falling apart, they may actually be falling into place. Forgiving yourself is as important as forgiving others. The truth is, unless you let go, unless you forgive yourself, unless you forgive the situation, unless you realize that the situation is over, you cannot move forward. Love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself, and be good to yourself. Forgive yourself, you are not perfect. Show yourself grace, you are still learning. Show yourself patience, you are on a journey. Forgive yourself for your faults and your mistakes, and move on. The more you know yourself, the more you forgive yourself. Offer yourself the same forgiveness that you've shared with others. You are deserving. These quotes were brought to you by Quotable People. To be informed of new videos, just subscribe to this channel and remember to click the bell icon. To view other videos about this same topic, just click on either of these two video links. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Have a great day.